What's up, Keep Pounding crew? We're back today with another video. Keep pounding! Today's topic is day 5 of training camp. Presented live in Bank of America Stadium and on live television. If you like the video, if you like the channel, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel inclined to do so, and let's jump in. So, day 5, we are looking at a live practice in Charlotte, North Carolina, inside Bank of America Stadium. Now, mind you, Tepper has now changed the stadium around to accommodate the soccer team. So, what you see out in the field is going to stadium-wise look different. So you got the end zone bleachers there, and I thought it looked really, really cool. So hopefully we'll have some Charlotte soccer teams come through or be created here. So local Charlotte teams, and of course a pro one as well. So that would be really, really cool. So jumping into the practice itself, right away, I noticed that they mentioned that Teddy Bridgewater studies Drew Brees every day. And he implements his style in his own way. And I feel like that's important to mention right out of the gate, because of the fact that, you're looking at a guy that's coming into this franchise brand new to the system that we're doing. Joe Brady's going to be helping him. And you're looking at a guy that immediately, and I mean immediately, gives energy to this ball club and builds chemistry with these players. I mean, it's simultaneous once he gets in that locker room and starts talking to these players. It's just incredible what Teddy's been able to build in just that short amount of time. So I'm very impressed with him. And if you want to be the best, you got to study the best. If you want to beat the best, you got to study the best. And that's exactly what he's doing. He played under Brees, and it's plain to me that he knows what he's doing. He's got a hunger, he's excited, he loves to play football, and he just enjoys the game in general. And that's exactly what you want out of a quarterback that's going to lead your franchise. He plays smart football, he makes smart throws. You saw some easy check down passes. That's exactly what you're looking for in certain situations. And he's also got a rivalry going with KK Short, which is really, really cool. You expect to see that right around this time of year. These players battle it out. They get competitive about literally anything. Basketball, just basic drills, stuff like that. So you got Coach Rule says the players have no excuse not to practice as hard as Christian McCaffrey. Boom. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. I love it. I love it. I love this phrase right here. And I love this statement. I love what Coach Rule is building. That's the tone right there for every practice, every drill, every warm-up. I mean, what more do you want from Coach Rhule? What more do you want? So I started looking at some of the 11 on 11 drills, and Darius Taylor impressed me with his pass rush and sack. I thought, generally the offensive line and defensive line are supposed to be balanced out, but Darius comes in and he's just got this speed and this hunger to get to the quarterback, and I'm impressed by it. Just attacking, attack. That's exactly what you want to do as a player in his position. They interviewed Shaq, and what I took away from that interview was he says that the coach wants no solo tackles. He wants people to be assisted. He wants help from other players. And that helps the team function better. It helps chemistry. It helps ensure that there's a way to get these tackles and not get burned, So I like that. Before I get into Brian Burns, I'm going to say this. Watch the first kickoff return drill. At about an hour and 20-minute mark. Watch number 16 just go lightning speed and just turn on the afterburners. That was incredible. I have never seen speed like that since Ted Ginn in the return game. And granted, this was just a practice drill, but still. Think about that, folks. If he gets loose, think about that speed. Think about that agility. Think about that footwork. Work with him. I like this guy. This is Zylstra. So, please coach this guy up. I want to see him catching balls. I want to see him in the return game as a return man. I like him. I like him a lot. He stood out to me right away. Right away, on just simple routes, on just easy catches, just the speed that he brings is really, really cool to see and refreshing. So then we got to see a little bit of PJ Walker, and I like PJ, man. I like PJ a lot. He threw some nice balls. He had good footwork, good technique, just everything you're looking for in a quarterback. In particular, a backup quarterback. And he made that transition really, really well from the XFL to the NFL. And if you look up his XFL numbers, you'll understand exactly why he's on this team right now and on this roster. It's not a coincidence. It's also not a coincidence why we signed two of his wide receivers to this wide receiver core. It's not a coincidence at all. He had that chemistry going with those guys, and I totally understand why we made that move. That was a great move. So now I'm going to get into Brian Burns real quick. Something that concerned me was his offside penalty on the 4th and short. at the very, very end of practice. And I'll tell you why. Because if you watched him play last year, and maybe you may not have picked this up, but he had a good handful of offside penalties. And a lot of those hurt the team on drives. And kept drives alive for the other team. So, my concern is that he's going to be falling back into that habit again. So you got to keep an eye on him. Try to get him disciplined. Try to get him more focused on the line. And not so much anticipating snap counts as running and releasing right when the ball is released. So, keep an eye on him. So that was kind of one of the negatives there. There's also a battle at corner position. Eli Apple got burned a couple of times. Dante got burned once. So, and as I mentioned in the first padded practice day, Eli Apple got burned, 1 or 2 times. So, I'm keeping an eye on him. And there's that battle for that number 1 corner spot. Dante has been here for a while, but he's got his weaknesses. Eli's been around the league for a little bit. He's got his weaknesses. But you're starting to see Troy Pride Jr. step up. And that's encouraging. And he got an interception in day 6, which we'll talk about in the next video. But I've just been really, really happy with his progress so far. And so is Coach Rule. So, no word from Coach Snow on how he's reacting to that, but I'm sure it's encouraging. I haven't broken down the pressers yet, so obviously I haven't seen any of those. I'll get to those as soon as I can. There's a lot of them to get to. And there may or may not be content in there that I can put in videos. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that being said, one topic of discussion I want to get to is preseason doesn't matter. That's a quote I've heard from somebody that was a former player. I'm not going to call out who it was, but I will say this. Preseason matters way more than people think it does. You're looking at 4 games, now 3, actually, because the NFL changed it, where you're trying to trim down an 80 to 90 man roster down to a 53. You're looking at least 20 or 30 cuts. At least. Just right out of the gate. And these are a lot of players, in 2 weeks. And you've got to make a decision on who you want to keep as a head coach, So I don't envy Coach Rule's position here, man. I don't. That's a tough call. With all of this talent on the field, with all this speed, with all this skill, with all this consistency that we finally have now, that's going to be tough to narrow this down and finally come out with a 53-man roster in this short amount of time, because it's a 2020 weird year, it gets even tougher. So I respect and I admire the coach's tenacity on his choices here. It's not going to be easy. It's going to really wear on him. And as a first-year head coach in the NFL. So I wish him the best. I wish him good luck. And my suggestion is don't dwell on it, too much. Because if you dwell on it too much, it's going to come back and you're going to feel the guilt of all the players that you wish you could have kept. And I know that's got to be weighing on every coach's mind when they're making these cuts, especially now. Don't dwell on it too much, because it's going to kill you. It's going to eat you alive. That guilt. And that frustration of not being able to keep these players that you wanted to keep. Because there's so much talent at those positions. But at the end of the day, at the end of preseason, you're going to come out with a shaved diamond that's going to look beautiful. And that's what you were looking for. Every time you come out of preseason, you're looking for that hope diamond of a team that will come out there, and you hope for everything green on the earth that they play well once you're done with it. And if they shine, they're going to shine like a diamond. That's what you want as a head coach. And if you put together a team that takes care of business, is consistent, is determined, is fired up, is energy driven, is doing everything the coach wants them to do, specifically Coach Rule here wants them to do, I see no reason why we can't just build a good team here and roll with it. I mean, I was feeling the excitement from that practice. I really was. So, hopefully, he'll come out with something great. That being said, I'll leave the rest to you in the comments below. Thank you so much for your support. All the new subs, all the new likes, all the new views. I love all of you. We're a Panthers family. And always remember, keep pounding.